the Eagles against the Steelers. For nearly 5 weeks now, the players have prepared. Some students have studied harder than others, but tonight, everybody's got to take their final exam for the summer session. And in this league, it's either pass or fail. Good evening, everybody. I'm Carl Churton, along with Ron Jaworski and Don Tollefson. Happy you could join us here tonight in sweltering South Philadelphia here and along the Eagles Football Network. It's hot for a number of reasons, guys. We all know that there's a sense of urgency in that Eagles locker room tonight because they got beat 37-10 last week, Ron Jaworski, and nobody feels that sense of urgency more than Ray Rhodes, which of course means that his players better get the message.
The players have gotten the message. We've had a chance to talk to a number of them. They know they have to play with some intensity tonight. But one thing that I do know, the Eagles will throw early and they will throw often because they want to find out two things: if their offensive line can pass protect and if Ty Detmer can play within this offensive scheme. Now, when I look at this offense going into the 1996 season, John Gruden wears the hat. The components are now in place. Irving Fryer, Christy Jones, Kevin Turner, and John Gruden's own draft choice, Jason Dunn, at tight end. The West Coast offense must come alive, Carl, in 1996.
And on the defensive side of the ball, Don, Emmett Thomas needs a very strong all-pro cornerback performance from the guy who is an all-pro, Troy Vincent.
Yeah, they were really disappointed last week up in New England with Troy Vincent. They expected him to be a major contributor, and that was not a problem area, the secondary, they thought. They knew they had troubles at linebacker, but they thought Troy Vincent and Bobby Taylor gave him the best 1-2 punch of cornerbacks in the NFL, and they didn't get that kind of play out of Troy Vincent last week. Of course, this week he will not have to face a Drew Bledsoe. Instead, he'll be facing a Steelers quarterback by the name of Jim Miller, part of a three-way controversy for Bill Cowher's team. Was it going to be the veteran Mike Tomczak? Was it going to be the wonder guy who can do so much, Cordell Stewart? Well, the team that went to the Super Bowl last year decided on young Jim Miller, and he will not probably test the Eagles as much as Drew Bledsoe did.
Well, the test tonight is for everybody, and everybody gets that passing grade. They stay. If they fail, they're gone. Those who stay, especially the Eagles we're talking about, are already pointing towards the Washington Redskins. The Eagles coaches have been preparing for 2 weeks already, and tonight they care about this game, but they're already thinking about the Redskins in the opener on September 1st. Holly and Jaws will bring you the play-by-play. I'll be visiting with you along the sidelines throughout. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this brief timeout.
Don Tollefson, Ron Jaworski, and Carl Churkin as the Eagles will kick off to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tommy Hutton teeing it up in this, the fourth and final preseason game for the Philadelphia Eagles. Deep for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jaheen Arnold and Charles Johnson. And of course, Tommy Hutton had an up and down game in New England. As we look at the weather conditions here, Tommy Hutton, of course, this year doing both the punting and kicking off, and we're underway at the vet. Arnold at his own 5, across the 15. Good seam across the 35, all the way out to the 38. And Ron, once again, problems for the Eagles special teams as they are not able to get any sort of good field position on the opening kickoff as the Steelers come out way past the 38. As we look at Jim Miller, he's in his 3rd NFL season, not to be confused with another quarterback, Chris Miller. This is a guy who, as we mentioned in the opening, he won the battle between Mike Tomczak and also Cordell Stewart. There's your backs: Pegram, Lester, Thigpen, and Johnson. Charles Johnson, who was in on the kickoff return. Jackson, Wolford, Dawson, Sweeney instead of Stye, and Strelzig up front. First down pass coming here, and a good rush and an excellent play by Mike Mamula. Again, after a good game in New England, Jaws, he starts out hot.
Don, you're absolutely correct. He played very well for a quarter and a half in New England last weekend. You'll see the shot right here as Miller drops back in the pocket. You see Fuller's upfield rush from the backside. Mike Mamula, these are the plays that Mike Mamula has the ability to make with that quick rush.
All right, we're going to take a look at the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. William Fuller, Kevin Johnson getting the start tonight. Andy Harmon is out. Rhett Hall, Mike Mamula, you just saw. Mark Woodard, a keeper, former linebacker. James Willis and Willie T. Troy Vincent's got to come up big. Bobby Taylor, Michael Zordich, and Eric Zomo close out the secondary. Second down and 19. Give us to Pegram. A little bit of running room, but it's going to bring up a 3rd and long, and the defense already seems to be coming out. William Fuller and the guys pumped up, Ron.
Well, that's what it's all about, that intensity that Ray Rhodes wanted to see tonight. he is certainly aware that the Eagles want to win this football game. That is not most important to him because he knows in the second half there's going to be a lot of guys there, a lot of changes. So he wants to see individual performance. You know, Sunday's a big cut-down day. He wants to see the guys play well tonight so they have a chance to make the team.
And that was what was interesting. Even in the bad loss to New England, there were guys, Mike Mamula among them, who did have good outings. All right, call it a 3rd and 15 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, operating from their own 33. Jim Miller in the shotgun. Good rush, and Willie T nailed him, Ron. Just an outstanding first defensive series for the Philadelphia Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles come with the blitz early. Barry Wilburn coming off the corner, and Willie T coming up right next to him. You'll see it right here. They're going after the young quarterback, Jim Miller. You see Willie T coming up, boom, right over the top. But Barry Wilburn came from the outside. No question the Eagles have decided early they're going to get after the young quarterback, Jim Miller.
All right, Josh Miller into punt. It is a 4th and 23 for the Steelers. Excellent beginning for the Philadelphia Eagles defense. As he's been throughout the preseason, Freddie Solomon deep for the Eagles. He's going to take this one, if it does not go out of bounds, right around the 30. It was out of bounds, but there is a flag down on the play, and we'll have to wait to see what the penalty is. Ron, as you watch the defense there, it was so obvious that both Ray Rhodes and Emmett Thomas said, hey guys, New England just did not give us the kind of an outing we needed. We have got to be consistent if we're going to play well at RFK next weekend.
There's no question of that. And, you know, there's some guys that he thought played well, which you mentioned. Mike Mamula was one of them. William Fuller always seems to play well. Willie T had a solid game. He was a little disappointed in Troy Vincent. Was a little bit rusty. Expected a little more out of him. And Mark Woodard. Those are the guys that, you know, the new guys come in are going to have to step up and play well if this Eagle team is going to improve on a 10-6 record.
Number 60 of the kicking team, illegally downfield, will penalize 5 yards and re-kick.
Johnny Greer with the call, the always popular now 4th and 28, and you saw Ray Rhodes there, Ronnie. He wanted to take the penalty. The Steelers, after good field position on the kickoff return, end up getting pushed way back. Now Josh Miller is all the way back at his 5-yard line. Freddie Solomon up to the Eagles 40 as we await the punt.
Ray Rhodes is acutely aware football is a game of field position. Take the penalty, hopefully get better position on this punt.
Good booming punt from Josh Miller, driving Solomon all the way back to around the 27 where he goes out of bounds. So the Eagles' offensive first look of the day will come from their own 27-yard line. And there's Ty Detmer getting some final instructions from offensive assistant Gerald Carr, and he is really in the spotlight tonight, Ron.
Well, no question about that, Don. You know, his numbers have not been impressive, but it has not been his fault for the most part. The protection has not been good. He's had a number of drop balls, but Ty Detmer certainly does have to play better. All
right, Ron, Jason Dunn, the rookie, getting the start at tight end. The rest of the guys are the veterans. Chris T. Jones has come up so big, and Barrett Brooks will focus on him all night at left tackle. He's got to do big things replacing Steve Wallace. Play action. Detmer under a lot of pressure. Good scrambling. He's stepping up, and he's going to take it out of bounds for a couple of yards gain. Rod Woodson over on the defense, and when you have guys like Rod Woodson and some of the others who are just Pro Bowl type players like Greg Lloyd, it is a tough defense to face. Kirkland Brown, Gilden Seals, Steed, and Johnson also on that defensive front 7. Again, Rod Woodson, the key guy in the secondary as he's been for so long. Named not that many years ago to the all-time NFL team as an active player. Willie Williams, Carnell Lake, Darren Perry. Now Ty Detmer brings him back up. Call it a 2nd and 8. Double backs behind him, Ricky Waters and Charlie Garner. They came up in the slot. Detmer back to pass. The completion is out to the right side. That's Garner, and he's going to be very close to an Eagles first down. Darren Perry with the stop. Ray Rhodes told us he was going to come out and pass. The
most interesting about that play was the formation. There was no back in the backfield. Obviously a pretty good indication it will not be a run unless you run a quarterback sneak. And tonight, we're going to talk about the offensive line. You'll see it right here. Joe Panos, number 72. Barrett Brooks, number 76. On the short drop, you can see Ty Detmer set about 5 yards in the pocket. Gets rid of the ball quick. It makes it easier for the lineman to get off, jam, and hold right in there. Allow Ty to get rid of the ball and move the chains.
A lot of interesting formations from offensive coordinator John Gruden. It's a 1st and 10 for the Eagles, now operating at their own 37. Penalty flag on the play. The ball intended for Irving Fryer, incomplete. And the flag is down, and we'll wait to see the call here. And give us the thinking, Ron. You're an offensive guy, a quarterback. Why did John Gruden and Ray Rhodes want to go pass?
It's real simple. The offensive line has proven they can run block. Last year, the number 4 rushing team in the NFL, number 29 in passing offense. And the reason they were 29
95 defense. Still first down.
The reason they were 29 is lack of pass protection for the most part.
Okay, it's going to be, as we look at the replay, the always popular 1st and 5 coming up after the call from Johnny Greer, Ron.
And again, you see Greg Lloyd quickly, number 95 in the right side, the outside rush. Again, a short drop, the slant pattern. Irving Fryer could have made the catch, but we get the penalty.
All right, Ty Detmer brings him up. Ricky Waters, the single back behind him. Kevin Turner in motion. Another passing play and a drop by Jason Dunn, and that is something they saw from tight ends so much in 95 that the fans here at the Vet are used to deja vu all over again. But we're going to take a look at that offensive line once more, Ron.
Well, this is a play designed to get the ball to Jason Dunn. With Turner in motion, you're going to stretch the defense a little bit. You see the nice down block in there by Brooks, giving time to Detmer to throw the football. Dunn, probably a little nervous. You know, his first start, a young kid. But you got to catch that football. Catch the rock.
Okay, again, after the penalty was a 1st and 5, so it's still a short distance 2nd and 5. Eagles operating from their own 40-30. Ricky Waters split out Charlie Garner behind Ty Detmer. And there's a pass to Ricky Waters coming out of the backfield, 50-40, down to the 30, down to the 25, and out of bounds. An excellent, excellent play, Ron.
You will see some excellent pass protection on this play. That's what made it possible. This is what Ray Rhodes wanted to see from the offensive line. Barrett Brooks, number 76. Greg Lloyd, one of the finest pass rushers in the game. One-on-one. Boom, there comes Joe Panos. Click, things his clock right there. Oh, baby. That's going to make everyone in that Eagle offensive group real excited. When you get after a Greg Lloyd like that, put him on the ground, it makes this kind of play possible. Outstanding play selection. Greg Lloyd, remember that one. If he didn't come ready to play tonight, he will now be ready to play. You'll see it from the ground level angle right here. Detmer into the pocket. Greg Lloyd, again, one of the best. Look at Joe Panos come in there and pancake him. Put him on the ground.
We'll be back with the game scoreless. 11:33 to go in the first. Eagles, Steelers. That is offensive right tackle Richard Cooper. So on a play with great offensive line play on the left side, an injury, and there is great concern. Ray Rhodes was out there, the training staff, Dr. Arthur Bartolozzi. Here's what we're mentioning on the left side, though, and Jaws, what a great double team play here, putting the Eagles down. 1st and 10 now, operating from the Steelers' 24. Kevin Turner's the back in motion. The give is to Ricky Waters, and he's going to be stopped for a loss of a yard at the 25. Joel Steed in that good defensive front for the Pittsburgh Steelers, making the stop along with Levon Kirkland.
Tolly, the Pittsburgh Steelers are one of 2 teams in the NFL still employing the 3-4 defense. In other words, 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers. The other team being the Carolina Panthers. But for the Steelers, basically number 95, Greg Lloyd, although listed as a linebacker, is a pass rusher.
All right, they gave Ricky Waters progress back to the 24, so call it 2nd down and 10. We are scoreless. 10:45 to go in the first quarter here at the Vet. Kevin Turner up in the slot. Ricky Waters behind Ty Detmer. Detmer back to pass. Good protection. Over the middle to tight end Jason Dunn, down inside the 5, and that's the athletic ability that made them want to draft that kid, Ron Julius.
Again, outstanding play by Ty Detmer, finding Jason Dunn. The key to this play is the offensive line. Detmer will set in the pocket. He will scan the field as you see right here. The Steelers do come with the blitz. They bring another outside rusher. Look at the nice pocket. Look at the nice lane that the offensive line gave him. And a great catch. I mean, when you got Rod Woodson bearing down on you to give you that forearm to the face, Jason Dunn comes up with the catch.
All right, as we look at big Jason Dunn, who can help this team so much. 1st and goal for the Philadelphia Eagles just inside the Pittsburgh 5. The give it to Kevin Turner up the middle, maybe down to the 4. Fumble on the play. Steelers have come up with it, but will it be ruled down? We'll have to wait for the officials. Eagles will maintain possession, and you didn't want to give up an offensive opportunity there, as we're going to take a look at the replay, Ron.
Well, Kevin Turner is still a little bit rusty, and he's got to get his act together within this offense. The Eagles are counting on him. You'll see a straight dive here. Good blocking up front, but the backside comes in. Boy, that was almost a fumble. Very close.
Excellent job by Kevin Turner. Talk about great reaction. He saw the ball. He was on the ground. It was an arm's length away, so he used the arm to go get it.
Philadelphia.
Little bit of offensive confusion here for the Eagles. They do not want to miss this red zone opportunity. They're going to have a 2nd and goal from the 3rd. We'll be back with 9:25 to go in the first quarter right after this Fox timeout.
We're still scoreless here at the Vet. As you can see, the Eagles' right tackle, Mr. Cooper, who had a left knee problem, the Eagles training staff has been looking at it. Initially, he could not walk on it. He's now flexing it both ways. Dr. Arthur Bartolozzi was checking him out first. Now the trainers are looking at it. Cooper, in fact, is now putting weight on it, so that perhaps is a good sign. Back up to you.
All right.